This is Soweto, South Africa. A group of teachers is gathering at a newly built community school. Half of them are from England, having arrived a few hours earlier. Many of them are on their first visit, having no idea of what they're letting themselves in for. The teachers are here to develop links with schools in Soweto, to experience a different way of teaching and a different way of life. We'll be seeing how they cope and what they achieve through the eyes of 2 primary teachers and 1 secondary teacher. We follow them as they discover how children, despite widespread poverty and disease, are taught to be proud and learn to aspire.
Ready, and...
And we also find out how these children manage to deal with this, almost certainly the first ever maypole installed in a black township.
She nearly took his head off.
The party includes 17 teachers employed in Cheshire, Warrington and Halton. Not surprisingly, there are a few nerves when they first arrive.
I'm completely stumped as to what to expect at the moment, so just keep an open mind and an open heart and see what happens.
We're not sure of any of the conditions and things, and I think that will be... I don't think it will be a shock, but I think it will maybe take some getting used to.
A little bit nervous and anxious to get things underway and to find out what the school itself is like, but very excited at that prospect.
Emlyn Wright works at the Verdin High School in Winsford, where he's curriculum coordinator for humanities. Rena Mystery, who qualified 2 years ago, is a Year 1 teacher at Upton Heath Primary in Chester. Gary Graham teaches a Year 6 class at the same school. The teachers are soon given a clear idea of working conditions in Soweto when they visit their host schools. Emlyn is taken to the Fons Luminous High School, where he's shown round by the principal. So can he imagine teaching in a room like this?
Well, I'm going to have to, aren't I? So just the basic facility, the chairs, and the tables. How many in the class?
Well, average 48, 49.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, where does everyone sit?
At times they don't have.
Yeah, that's what. That's what I thought. Yeah. It sort of puts our hormones into perspective, really.
Emlyn is in for another shock as he enters the computer room.
All the computers were taken. Others were vandalized like they are, and they were left like this. It's now 5 years that we've not been using this particular facility. Yeah.
Rena and Gary are taken to Shamang Primary School. It's better resourced than many. Amid high security, the school has 25 computers.
Are you likely to get broadband on these computers?
What is broadband?
The difference in resources may be stark, but it's nothing compared to the contrast in the wider community, where there's lingering poverty and disease. The unemployment rate is around 50%, and only one business is currently thriving, the funeral business. It's estimated that at least a quarter of the sexually active population is infected with the AIDS virus. It makes this greeting all the more remarkable. Despite the sorrow that must be known to many, if not most, of these children, they're never heard moaning and often seen dancing. The visiting teachers first encounter pupils, or learners as they're called locally, the next day when they all find themselves dancing in the street. This is the official welcome, which starts with a procession and continues with a concert involving the 9 primary and secondary schools forging links with England.
Completely amazing. Just a fantastic welcome, really.
I've never had a welcome like that in my life, and I don't think I ever will again. All through the concert, I couldn't talk. It was just so much to take in. It really was. It was fantastic. Certainly looking at the dances and the way they perform, the enthusiasm, I'll certainly be taking those back, and I will be doing a few dances with the children, a few African dances and stories and tales.
In my subject in geography, we tried to teach about cultures and we tried to teach about different places. I was busy making videos all the way through myself because there were things that I was seeing. I was thinking, right, we could use that to show this culture and the different tribes that are represented in the pieces.
And while the Sowetans can give us the power and colour of traditional tribal dancing, the English can give them country dancing. This performance is the product of one strong and long-lasting link involving Kingsley St John Primary near Frodsham.
When I came out last year, I came out with the former head teacher, and we actually taught some of the country dancing to the classes. We had about 100 children all doing this country dancing, and they're so super to teach the children here, and they've got such natural rhythm.
Because this is about sharing culture. You can't get anything more traditional than an English country dance.
And this is only the beginning. They've already sent instructions on how to build a maypole, and they're determined to teach the children how to dance round it. The Cheshire teachers are soon to appreciate that dance and music are not reserved for school productions. They permeate the whole of school life. The teacher here has created a special song to teach plant respiration to this class, the equivalent of Year 6.
Right, thank you. Well done. You still remember to thank you. If I find something that is a little heavy and if my learners go sleepy or get bored, I will try and make some singing.
The teachers are spending 3 days at their link schools. The first one is mostly spent observing and understanding these differences in styles. The difference in resources is made obvious by the children sharing a chair.
Have you learned that song to take you back home?
Well, I'm going to try to. I certainly am going to try to. And maybe get one or two of the children to teach me, because I think it's fantastic.
It's just such a way with children, you know, just completely wrapped. And I was as well. I was like, wow.
At the Fons Luminous High School, Emlyn is getting his first insight into teaching methods in Soweto. These learners are in their final year.
It's a very didactic style from the front, working from the board. Lots of textbook work. I've seen groups of children huddled around textbooks following exercises.
So it's the way you were taught, basically?
Yeah, it is the way I was taught, yeah. And, you know, it's a resource issue, isn't it? You know, we're moving now towards lots of different sort of visual, audio, kinesthetic type activities, whereas, you know, these students, there isn't the materials to do that, so it's still from the textbook, yeah.
Teaching is obviously affected by HIV and AIDS. The stigma attached to the disease means that people don't talk about it and teachers can't ask.
In our Ubuntu culture, we are not supposed to be telling about disease and all that. It's all about happiness and growth and beauty. So we can't just say this one is now dying of AIDS and let's prepare for him now.
Have you had learners who have died of AIDS?
We have learners who have died of AIDS. But we will get to know about it maybe on the day of the funeral or on the week of the funeral.
Despite the reluctance to discuss the disease, this mother has agreed to talk to Rena and Gary. She lives a couple of miles away from the school in this 3-room home with her 4 children.
I'm HIV positive and I'm drinking ARV tablets.
So are there lots of people who have to take medicine who live around here?
It's me and...
And your little boy as well?
The other one, it's right.
Oh, right, I see.
I've got 1 bedroom.
And do you all sleep in the bedroom together?
Yes.
Speechless, really am. I mean, you see it from the roadside and you think, well, you know, it's maybe not as bad as it seems, but when you're actually in and amongst, you know, the area and visiting the house, it's hard to, just can't take it in.
It gives a different perspective on the school, doesn't it, and the learners in the school.
Yeah, they wake up and, you know, they come from here and they all walk to school. But, you know, it's just amazing, really.
It really is. It really is. You know, and just their effort, their behaviour in school, their attitudes is so good.
AIDS is more likely to strike primary school children born with the virus. Most of them won't make it to secondary school. But the problem all schools face is the growing number of pupils who are left in charge of families. At Fons Luminous School, staff estimate that 250 out of 1,500 learners must also look after younger brothers and sisters.
It's a difficult one, really. It's really a difficult one. By the time they're at school, they're exhausted. And they're thinking now, what are we going to do after school to make sure that there is, say, bread on the table or food on the table. So it's a really, really, really difficult task for them.
How can you, as a school, support these pupils?
The only thing that we can do is we always make appeal to our district offices. We appeal to the community. And every time we highlight the plight of these children in our meetings with parents. And very often, when we ask for donations, they do come through other learners.
Teachers from both countries all come together again here at Gold Reef City in Johannesburg, a big tourist attraction made up of casinos and restaurants. The venue is the choice of the host teachers, clearly keen to show there's another side to their province. But it still gives the visitors a chance to sample a delicacy popular in the townships: chicken feet.
Hold on, let me spread the toes. Listen, my gran cooks pig's trotters, so do you enjoy this? It's nothing.
Not bad. You going to introduce it to school dinners?
I don't think it will go down too well with the children at home.
All day we've been working, we've been talking about work, and this time, we're still talking about school, but it's much more relaxed.
Back to reality, and the day has come when the teachers are due to stop talking and start teaching. Emlyn is asked if he'd like to start his day with a host teacher. It gives him the chance to visit a colleague's home and then ride on a township taxi. There's little public transport, so most people rely on these minibuses, which scuttle around the townships. They're hailed using a system of hand signals to indicate destination.
So this guy drives pretty fast, yeah?
Too fast.
Too fast. Yeah. So he doesn't follow a route? He just goes wherever he wants, over here?
Take a shortcut.
I've seen people doing this and this and this and this.
Yeah,
what?
each and every place has got its own sign.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
so
if you say this,
yeah,
I'm going to Joburg.
Okay.
Emlyn arrives safely for the morning assembly, held outside because there's no school hall. Everyone knows it's time to line up and stop talking when the teachers start singing. This morning, the learners are being addressed by a visiting inspector. He talks to them using a mixture of English and tribal words, with the simple aim of boosting their self-esteem.
Barries of today are clevers of tomorrow, and clevers of today are barries of tomorrow.
Reminding learners they're all clever and full of potential is a regular tactic to keep them motivated amid the problems around them.
This is one school which is producing very good results in Soweto. So that's why we're having a lot of numbers coming in this institution, because we've got best teachers, committed teachers, and then we always encourage them. You need to always remind them, to remind them that there's nothing that they can do without education.
It's Emlyn's turn now to take over and use a blackboard for the first time in his career.
I just wanted to play a quick sort of geography game with you that I would play with my students. We call this the 3 C's. City, country, and continent, okay? So, for example, I would say to you, the continent is Europe, okay? Europe is the continent, so country,
London.
England, and the city is?
London.
London, great stuff, well done.
Was it different to your normal lesson?
Yeah, it was. It was more active, it was more active, and many people participated in the lessons, whereas normally they don't really participate. The teacher was very vibrant, yeah.
Very vibrant?
Yeah, sort of.